All right, welcome to another episode of the... Oh, I'm clicking my tongue. That's not good. Welcome to the episode, the latest installment of the Bad Brothers podcast. You can become a sponsor. You can become a Legacy Extraordinaire sponsor by donating $1,000, and we can move this podcast to video and get some dang views. Or you can just reach out in any way, and you can give us anything free. It can be, you can, like that guy who tried to get a penny and they get it up to $1 million or whatever.
Paperclip.
There's a guy doing a penny recently.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
It was like in the last, whatever.
This was in like the early 2000s, the Paperclip.
Yeah, I remember that. You can get Will and I any amount of free anything, and a jingle will be written for you and played on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I might even make a reel of it.
Reels.
So you can do that. You can sponsor it. We have different tiers. You know, like Patreon tiers. We basically have 2 tiers. Anything free or $1,000.
Yeah.
And you decide where you fit in that tier.
Yeah.
And so I also need to say I have more tier related content. And that's this. My birthday was a couple weeks ago. And I believe I may have talked about this in the past before, but this is really a PSA. This isn't an update because it hasn't happened yet at the time of this recording, but this is just, a PSA for the people. This to expand your horizons. If you feel locked in by birthdays, birthdays have a certain structure that you need to stick to. Cake and ice cream, you light the candles, happy birthday to you. It's locked in. You don't sing another version of happy birthday unless you go to like El Sombrero for
Red Robin
or Red Rob. How do you know to clap? You go to a restaurant, they have a different birthday song. If you're doing it at home, it goes a certain way. And I just want to give a PSA to you people out there listening. You're not locked into anything. You can do anything you want.
It's a free country.
It's a free country. And what I realize is, God bless America, July 4, 1776, independence, Second Amendment, regulated militia. What I realize is I don't have to have cake on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not want a cake on my birthday. I don't really enjoy cake that much. And so like for this year, so I just go on Pinterest and I choose something that sounds good. I have an idea of, and
what did you
pick
have
it.
3 weeks ago?
I had 3 weeks ago Snickerdoodle cream cheese apple pie.
Okay, I'm interested.
And it's not really an apple pie, but I'll show you the picture right now.
Okay, we got what's on the bottom.
That
graham cracker crust.
Does that look like a graham cracker crust? Because that would be a lot, but
only if you say graham cracker crust again.
Graham cracker crust.
And then it looks like cheesecake, and then it looks like apples, and then it looks like Snickerdoodle crumble.
Yeah, it's like cookie dough-ish.
Who's making this?
Tammy. Who do you? I got a wife.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think her job is?
Yeah. What else? What's she doing?
What else is she gonna do?
What's she doing out of the kitchen?
She can't work. Anyways, I'm just saying to anybody out there, you don't have to have cake. You don't have to have cake for your birthday.
Especially you don't have to have like Fred Meyer or Costco sheet cake.
You don't have to have turkey for Thanksgiving. You don't have to have a ham for Christmas. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. In fact, there may be other cultures out there.
I'm trying to do sushi on my birthday.
Expand your horizon by like go research what other cultures do for birthdays or what kind of holidays they have and what kind of foods they eat. And then you realize something that's so central to the way we do things is
capitalist America.
In this capitalist America that you would spend thousands of dollars of fireworks on, is not even a thought, somewhere else in the world. And it really like pops your bubble for certain things here.
This candle just went out.
It may pop your cherry for other things. It pops your bubble for things here and pops your cherry for things there.
Yeah.
So you find if you don't like cake, don't have cake on your birthday for 87 to 87 years.
On my birthday, I'm trying to go to this place in Seattle. It's in an alleyway, and it's a sushi restaurant, and there are 12 seats, and the guy makes each thing by hand. It's the one chef, and he makes it all.
Oh, dang. Are you talking... Is this Michelin Star?
Not that I know of, but it is Hero Dreams of sushi style.
Yeah, he's probably aiming for Michelin Star.
Omakase, I believe it's called, where the chef serves you each piece. Like each piece is like per course. You get one handcrafted piece.
Just search it and then search it with Michelin Star and see if there's anything about it, or if he's shooting for it, if it...
Yep. Well, he said the true like omakase style is like there's like no drink, like no alcohol, no music is playing, no nothing. He tries to like liven it up a little bit. Like he has more of a vibe.
Okay, I have a real thing I want to talk about. And I am going to talk about it like this. I've been going to Fox Island Church for the last couple months. Fox Island Alliance Church. And now, we watched a couple churches online. We moved from Port Orchard, and I've had some weird church experiences over the years. I've been kicked out of one church because I did not agree with somebody, and then they said they'd make my life a living hell if I stayed there, and that's fine. And then I went to another church where I had lots of friends, but I also had people that weren't my friend and I had a complicated history with. Let's just put it that way. I don't know how much... You can't always revisit the past.
There are no Michelin Star sushi restaurants in the state of Washington.
Is there any Michelin Star restaurants at all?
Oh my gosh, I'm not on that search.
Sorry. Okay, he's not Michelin Star.
If you want Michelin sushi, you have to go to California, District of Columbia, Florida, Illinois, or New York. Illinois. Okay.
I have a family now, kids, and have to think about their experience growing up. And, so it's kind of important to me where I pick and, what kind of things they hear, what they're shaped by and everything. And we looked at one church that we really thought about going. There's people there that we like and they go there. And then we watched a couple of times and it was a little bit too much like... Now, one of the main parts of Christianity is you're a sinner saved by grace and all that. However, there's some places that go heavy on the sinner, as in like you're a piece of crap, you're a worm crawling on the dirt,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really like that. And I'm definitely like overemphasizing or kind of like exaggerating it a little bit, but sometimes not. And so this church where we do have some friends going, it was a little bit like that. And it's just not something I wanted for me. It's not something that I wanted for my family, anything like that. So then Mandy recommended, hey, check out Fox Island Church. And
check it out.
So we watched a few I almost said episodes. We watched a few episodes online, and The church definitely has some hang-ups. I mean, it wasn't big, and that's fine, but they didn't have like a youth group. So then you have to start thinking, okay, what's Landon going to be involved in as he gets all these going into sixth grade? Is he going to have a group of friends? Like, I had a pretty good youth group experience as far as like there was a big group of people to hang around with, keep me out of trouble, do activities with, things like that. And so I want him to have an experience like that. So, is he going to go somewhere else, or is he going to, whatever? And you have to participate more. When a church is smaller, like people take turns doing stuff. It's like maybe kids' church is more like a co-op. Like, hey, if you have your kid down here, you need to serve every once in a while because, hey, we're not big. We can't just have somebody do this full time. We'll have to take a part. We have to be a part. And there's not as many people in the church on Sunday. So everybody's, if you want to like have friends, people are in each other's business. You can't just sit in a pew. Not like I want to do that, but you can't just come in, sit in a pew and leave as easily. And so those are some, things to think about. But the real thing that got me going there was the way Pastor Josh speaks, and the way he talks about God, the way he talks about being a Christian is sort of the way it's what I would want Landon to be around. It's how I'd want him to start to develop, like start thinking about life as like a teenager and as an adult and stuff like that. And it's how I personally it's sort of like closest to how I would explain a lot of things. And like I said, on that episode, he comes across very smart, very caring. Everything he says is with a lot of wisdom, I feel like. And he really has mindfulness that's sort of like wrapped up in like caring for the person and explaining things like that. And so, but all of a sudden we get this email that's like, hey, we have this church meeting, not on a Sunday. And I'm like, uh-oh, because
is it like their yearly meeting, or this is an emergency meeting?
It's not emergency. They have had other meetings.
I preface my question with, I've been looking up Washington State Michelin Star restaurants pretty much the whole time you've been talking.
And this is going to be so long, and I'm going to give you time to talk. And I'm interested. Is there any?
It's a long answer.
Okay. So they have this meeting, and it doesn't say it's in regard to anything. So I have two things. I already know it's not going to be positive, and I'll tell you why. They didn't go like, hey, don't worry, this is just, we need to talk about kids' church, or hey, don't worry, we need to talk about some things with the board. They didn't even give like the simplest explanation, so I knew it was going to be a big deal.
The subject matter wasn't like Roe versus Wade.
No. No.
Church response.
And also, I know they had been there for like at least 10 years, I believe. And nowadays, that's kind of a long time. You don't hear of pastors being at churches for 40 years or something like that. It's not some like Midwest town with, 1,000 people where, some guy is the car salesman and the pastor, and he'll also serve you a malt on Saturday nights at the
diner.
It's nothing like that. And so I already sort of had that in the back of my mind once we started going. And also, it's a small church, and I'm like, this building is kind of nice. So it's small, but
lay it on us.
It's decent.
Lay it on us.
Anyways,
you go to the meeting.
I go to the meeting, and they say, one, we're having some money issues. That's a big part of it. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I mean, COVID has really effed up a lot of churches over the last couple years. It just has. People have left.
It's effed up a lot of things.
People have left and not come back in the church world, and that also means money. And so they have obligations for a building and a staff and everything. And so they're looking in the future, and it's not going to be good. But they have this church that's been using the building on Sunday nights, and it's technically called a church plant, but I believe it started as a youth ministry. It's called Heart Church. Do you know about that?
This is sounding a lot like Elijah's request or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Heart Church.
I think it started as a youth ministry only, but
If you would have said Thrive, I would have known what you're talking about.
wait,
No.
the Thrive guy goes to this church. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Michael is his name.
Red hair.
No,
Oh. Michael Hall?
I don't think his name is Hall.
Oh, okay.
He went to freaking Oxford.
I just doxed him.
And anyways, the board is recommending that they merge.
Yeah.
But Heart Church would have to agree to it for one.
Right.
And they would have to like take on the debt of the building if they want to stay in the building.
Right.
Because Fox Island could technically be like, okay, well, we'll sell the building. We'll try to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
But this Heart Church had all these teenagers meeting, and then their families started coming, and now they have like a couple hundred people that are connected to them. And I mean, the Fox Island Alliance does not have that many people. So all that to say, that's fine. That happens in churches, blah, 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 blah. The point of it for me that I was going to say to you is like...
Oh, yeah, Michael Bartursi. This guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually heard him talk before. He
spoke
smart.
on Sunday or 2 Sundays ago. Yeah, he's smart. He's a nice guy. His parents were doctors. He's single. He drives a BMW.
Went to Oxford.
And he kind of speaks like a doctor. You know, like a surgeon, they kind of like their hands like stay kind of like floppy. You know how they do that kind of thing?
Gay?
A little bit.
I'm just kidding.
A little light in the loafers. They have that look.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Of you might have said in the 80s or 90s. But
to me, he seems like he should be on like Seinfeld or something.
yeah. He's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, he planted Thrive Spokane. That's like when I first heard about 2012 back then.
Yeah, yeah. He's very articulate. But anyways, the personal side of all this that I wanted to say to you is like,
where we get, what's the point?
Even though I've had it in the back of my mind, like I put 2 and 2 together. Even before I heard about the meeting, I was like, he's been there 10 years. It's a small church.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very like charismatic. I'm sure there'd be a bunch of like bigger churches that would, if they go through a transition, that they might try to pluck him out of here and have him go somewhere else, just because he's a very compelling, smart kind of guy.
Heart Church took me 2 seconds. It's run by the Paynes.
And
that's the pastor. He's the pastor?
Kramer?
Yeah.
I don't know his last name.
Payne.
Yeah.
Cutter's Point?
Yeah.
It's his son.
Oh,
the guy who started Cutter's Point.
Okay, I wondered how they could be in that building because then they did a bunch of youth stuff. They do that one right at the Olympic. No, not
the flagship store.
Yes,
they do a thing there.
Yeah,
yeah, and so there's the 2 sons, Kramer and I can't remember his name. Someone in Gig Harbor will know because they're like a Gig Harbor fam. The one son is doing more of the Cutter's Point stuff, and I guess he's a pastor. This guy, the other guy.
He's tall. He's like 6'4" or something.
Yeah.
Tan. I saw him on Sunday. I didn't stay for the meet and greet. But also not the personal thing for a second. It's funny because they're talking about it like it's a done deal, but they're also saying it's not a done deal. Come to the meet and greet, talk. It has to be up to everybody. But all the language that it's one of those things where it's like not subliminal, but like subconscious, all those like things that you are saying, as if it's done,
Yeah.
but they're trying to say it's not done, but all the language they're using is like, it's pretty much set in stone,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but I will tell you, when they first said it, so I go to the meeting and the kids are downstairs. Tammy is out with her friends, partying, getting wasted, doing her thing that she always does. And
For her birthday.
And no, she always parties and goes out and gets wasted on her own.
This is a different day.
Yeah, a different day. And so
Just the normal.
Exactly.
Just the normal
I'm there doing the church thing with my kids, and she's out with doing cavorting and getting wasted, with people. And so, but they announced that they flashed the thing on the screen within the first 5 minutes. Mandy's doing the whole announcement of it. And I felt like personally offended. And I was texting Matt and I was like, can I just please have one? Kramer might be the nicest, perfect guy, and we might be best friends in the future, and books may be written about how amazingly we synced up and changed the world together.
Mm-hmm.
But
that
would be fine.
Change is traumatic.
But I was just like, I have endured over the last however many years insane church situations.
Yeah.
Things that were so frustrating, and even some hangups that were my own that I feel like I finally gotten over, and a bunch of stuff that was not my fault. That is crazy. And I was like, I finally get into a good situation where I feel like is a good situation, and very vibey. Great situation. Tammy has a friend in Mandy. There's a lot of people our age there too. A lot of kids the same age.
What? I may have missed this in my Googling. Where was the current pastor headed if this merger
There's
takes
nothing.
place?
They're not saying because they're saying it's an option. They haven't said anything about their future.
Oh, okay.
And they might not have anything set in stone about their future. But they also can't talk about it like that,
right?
Or else it's done.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, their language has kind of betrayed them, because they are saying when we right? They don't catch themselves sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I felt personally offended.
I get it.
I almost started not crying as in bawling, but I almost got even a tear in my eye. Almost
frustrated.
Almost pleading for the heavens. Can I just have a good situation, even for a couple years? That's give me stability, or give me a chance to be involved. Give me a good group of people.
Yeah.
Give me anything that's sort of stable and just sort of nice and normal. I also did sort of feel like I wanted to sort of scream in that moment. And I don't know, some things just sort of hit you like that. And
I feel you, but for me it's been with work stuff over the last few years with all the COVID stuff, and it's can I just get a freaking break?
Didn't they say they're going to open Vancouver back up?
Yes.
Potentially in September or something like that?
Correct.
But you need more workers.
Need more workers.
Need more workers for the harvest.
Yeah. It's only going to be one train instead of two, so I don't know how many more jobs it's actually going to open up at the beginning, and it's just going to be a crazy wild ride.
But potentially, if they can fill people, maybe your schedule can be sort of normalized.
Yeah. The goal is to go back to spring of 2019 spring of 2020.
Spring of 2019.
2020,
Oh, yeah.
pre-March.
Yeah.
We were on track to be expanding and self-sustaining for the Cascade service.
Oh.
Washington and Oregon, which is huge in the passenger train world.
Oh, yeah.
Like only like New York to Philadelphia to Boston through New York is the only other self-sustaining.
Oh, really? So like they could survive unsubsidized or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So it's like huge deal. And that was right before COVID.
Dang.
So the goal is to get back to that with, more service and more stuff. We got more cars coming in the next couple of years. Brand new trains. Hasn't been done since the 80s.
Dang, get some people on there, man.
So, but yeah. No, I feel you, and that's hard, especially when you find someone, and after like the last 2 years, after COVID, and after all this stuff.
Oh yeah, and after we
everything.
weren't going to church and just watching it online and stuff.
No, I get it. Like we started going to this one in Auburn, and that's probably not going to happen anymore. And so, I get it.
Just go to Casey Treat's church. No, he's in Seattle.
Casey Treat. I forgot who that even was, and like
he's a redhead guy.
I don't even know if I ever knew what he looked like, but I just didn't know the name.
Wait, what's the one down here when they had the Scrooge church and all that? Gerald or whatever. What's his name?
Doing the
Kevin Gerald
Christmas
or
stuff.
Something? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, you talk. Because this guy went through like a complete like makeover.
Like a physical,
I want to say
physical appearance makeover.
Yes, Kevin. I think his name is Kevin
James.
Gerald Church.
Kevin James.
Champion Center.
Oh yeah, Champion Center.
And
where they had the big singing Christmas tree or whatever. Was that there?
Did they have a Christmas tree? Because they also had.
Or is that just the Christmas play?
They did have the Scrooge Christmas play. You seen that guy?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Okay, so he went from like, I mean, he looks the same. He's got a little bit of a dorky face, but I don't even know what got him. He got on the map somehow nationally. I don't know what it was. Maybe just because he had a big building around here. And he got on the speaking circuit or something. But he went through like from like ugly suits and like the like square glasses, like either no frames or like very like metallic rectangle, just dorky guy frames to like all of a sudden like overnight like wardrobe change, his wife wardrobe change.
Yeah.
And and he started doing all these like big speaking events. I'm like,
well, it's like you've seen those things where it's like you're not ugly, you're just poor.
yeah. This guy went from like major dork 1 year ago to like being like
it's like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, where like you see the pictures of them when they started, and they're like huge dorks.
But it's also like forced respect. Like all of a sudden you land a few like speaking gigs, and all of a sudden like we should care about your opinion more than 9 months ago or something.
You should. That's what I need to do.
Speaking circuit?
Yeah.
I know, you're getting all this practice every week.
I should. What should I speak on?
Exactly. Okay. What should you speak on?
Yeah, what should I speak on?
Okay.
I feel like I could speak on anything.
This is what I would speak on. Actually, I've been thinking about this. I would speak on relationships.
Do I need to be passionate about it?
Yes, that helps. Because if you want to get on some kind of national speaking thing, it has to be like a part of your identity, and you're not going to be able to fake. You're only going to be able to fake that for so long.
Yeah,
it's like, do you want to make a run of like a year, or do you want to? Let's potentially try to flip careers and.
Oh, yeah, we're flipping careers.
So this is what I would do. I would try to be a relationship person.
Mm-hmm.
And it would not, and also like, sort of like advice that sort of like revolves around like your interpersonal relationships.
Because you can never really be wrong.
One of the things I would like to figure out how to do on this podcast is speak more seriously about things, but I also don't want this to be like a serious podcast.
Right.
But podcasts where they have like life advice and stuff like that. I really feel like we were talking about another subject in between the podcast, but like my heart kind of goes out to like that kind of person who I feel like, I've said this before, but I feel like most people who are maybe in a bad spot, like mentally or emotionally or relationship wise, are only like a few steps away from getting to like a normal life. And it's basically like a few like small changes could tweak their life dramatically. That's how I feel about most people who are sort of either not down and out, like teaching them like life skills, like here's how you manage your money and stuff. I'm not Dave Ramsey,
Yeah.
but I feel like a lot of the ways you treat yourself or you deal with other people,
I think I could be really good about your
like
own like person.
That's a good lane for me.
I feel like I could be really good about like personal, like how you feel about yourself and how you feel about like what others think about you and your personal self-talk.
Bad Brothers Tour, would you mind splitting the bill with me?
We could do it. How to not be bad brothers, bad people.
Yeah,
we could call it Bad People Tour.
Up with people.
Bad friends is already a thing. Bad person tour.
Man, that would, how would we, because we have bad in the name, but we can't do a rebrand now. We're in our third year of media mogality.
So it's just Bad Brothers Tour? Bad Brothers Live?
Well, we got to have a book.
Oh, that's easy. You just have some ghostwriter write it all up and put our name on it.
I would want to do some.
I know. If you go back to episode... talk about how I said that you could write a book. That was my skill, I think, that you have.
Okay, comment on this episode, things that you need advice about. Relationships, life.
You could even send it in an anonymous DM and we'll keep it anonymous and we will give you some advice.
Okay, you can also create a Gmail account and it can have nothing attached to it and just send it to badbrotherspod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I'll read that and I'll give you some advice. And then Will also tag team with me and
I've got years of experience.
Yeah, we all have years of life experience. It's being able to turn that into, number one, a product, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Turn your life experience into a product. That's what you should always be thinking about.
I do think I'm a very positive person. Optimist, which I feel like is so counterculture these days.
I think you are kind of... You're not like bouncing off the walls smiley guy?
No, that's like fake. That's like, those are the ones that kill themselves.
I don't... but some people aren't fake. Let's forget about the people who kill themselves for a second.
Robin Williams.
There are happy people out there. I just want to acknowledge that.
There are.
I just listened to the Smartless interview with...
Who's that? Who does that?
Who's the dude?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Old Man, that's his new show.
Yeah, he's got the happy gene, man. Yeah. He's got the happy gene, man. He talks like that.
I tried to watch that movie and I don't get what all the hype is about.
But him in real life, seems like a great dude, man.
Yeah.
So some people do have that happy gene,
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't that be nice? But you are sort of an optimist in that you're always looking to, even in a bad situation, you're looking to turn it around.
Yep. It always can be worse and it always can get better.
Exactly. I can get stuck on the worst part. I'm not as good as thinking about ways it can get better.
See, when I think about how it could get worse
For myself, but for other people,
for me,
in
I think
fuego.
when it's like how it can get worse is usually what makes me more happy about the current.
Ugh. Well, I'm upping my Wellbutrin MGs, so
Oh, really?
I'll check in next time.
Coming episodes are about to be fire.
I may be loads more positive in the future.
I love positive loads.
Did we wrap up everything? As far as
I don't know, your church sucks, and no, I'm just kidding. No, Kramer Payne. That's interesting.
yeah,
The
he was so tan when I saw him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't actually know them. I went to a few Cutters Point Christmas parties back in the day, which are quite an event.
CP?
Yeah. CPCPs. They're quite an event. And I've met Mr. Payne a few times, and I feel like
I met him.
I feel like every time it's the first time though.
That was the location of my famous twat incident.
What? I thought that was in Tacoma by your
No,
work.
we talked about this. It was right there,
At the flagship.
next to Ross.
I probably know the person you twatted.
You probably do. I'm Facebook friends with her.
Bring it up. It's probably Kramer's wife.
No, it's not. Oh shoot! What's
Because
her
I
name?
think both of them work for Cutters.
What's her
But I
name?
think they work in the back of the house. But yeah, churches, changes. You know, I always remember something that I heard somewhere or read somewhere. And this is just a glimpse of what the Bad Brothers live tour / book could be like. Every change is traumatic, whether that's positive or negative. You got a new job, awesome. You lost a job, not so great. Either way, it's going to be traumatic for your life because it changed your schedule. It's a change to how you feel about yourself. We have a name. Who is that?
I was trying to give you the image.
Don't dox, but let me get it.
Work history.
Show me mutuals and
This says works at, but also does essential oils. So
I saw that. doTERRA. Are you on Facebook?
we don't have that many mutuals. What?
Let me cut back to every change is traumatic, so good or bad. And can you put her name in there so I can see if we have any mutuals?
Yeah.
Every change is traumatic, good or bad, because we're such humans of like patterns and everything like that. And we get so comfortable. So as soon as there's a change, whether it's good or bad, it throws your whole system off. You get anxious, you get anxiety. Those are the same things. And it's easy for you to get emotional about things that maybe aren't as deserving of your energy and time. So that's something to remember when you're making these things in your life. It might be good, but it's going to be a big deal when it affects your family, when it affects everything, all of that. Change is traumatic. Just remember that when you feel like out of whack.
I wasn't listening at all.
Look at those.
I know you got 16.
No. John has 16. I have 1,
Oh,
2,
you have
3,
11.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But yeah.
So John, if he's really into it, could do a twat matrix if he wanted to, but
Who really could is
she doesn't listen to the pod.
people she knows do.
I'm talking about people who listen to the pod. I know her.
You realize who those people
Yes.
are? They are close relationship with the person you
We had a conversation about getting married young.
Yeah.
He plays.
Yeah.
I can't dox him. My Twilight incident.
You're gonna listen back to the life nugget I just gave, and you're just gonna be.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do editing.
You're gonna be blown away while you're editing.
Okay. Next week I will have an update of what I think about what Will said because I was scrolling Facebook, and that's
just a sample of what.
That's usually what he does when I'm talking. Wait, we never get. Okay, now we can't end this episode before we get to Michelin Stars. Well, I am so proud of myself right now for getting back.
The pills are working. Listen to this.
Before we go,
quick fact that blew my mind.
But next week, I will update my feelings about whatever Will said because I was scrolling. It's usually his job to scroll. And he was scrolling during this episode, and he found out this information.
Listen to this groundbreaking information. The Michelin star rating does not rate all restaurants across the whole country.
Huh?
They only stick to California, Florida, Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C.
Oh, what kind of...
And other places in the world. But those are the United States areas that they service.
Okay, so they'll go to some hut in Iceland with a guy serves a starfish on a bed of moss.
Yep.
You know, one Tuesday every summer solstice.
Yep.
But they can't come to the Seattle,
which is one of the hugest food hubs in the country.
Come on, Asian fusion, man. This is where it's happening.
So, yeah.
So we have no Michelin star restaurants in Washington, period. Even if they...
Yeah, there are some suggestions of Michelin star, and I could do more research
Michelin
on it.
Michelin star type restaurants, yeah.
And so, and like ones Michelin food reports have reported on, but not a part of their main.
Michelin, is that French?
No, it's the tire company.
Stuck up. Yeah, but where does it originate?
I don't know. But so yeah, I mean, nothing came right up for Seattle restaurants because there should be a ton. Seattle is a giant food hub. That is what I found out, and it blew my mind, and I did not know that until today.
French.
And really,
Michelin is French, so stuck up pricks.
That makes tires. Tyre.
Get wrecked, Michelin.
Get wrecked. Founded in 1889.
All right. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for putting it.
They made the tires for the space shuttle aircrafts.
We tried to venture into the serious this episode, and we may have fun. Last episode was so much fun. Didn't you love it? And then we bring one where we give more thoughtful topics.
And if you were going to guess where Bridgestone tires are from, where would you guess?
Bridgestone, Scotland.
That is going to be Shohiro Ishibashi, Japan.
No. Not the Japanese translations again.
It's from Japan.
Oh, wow.
Bridgestone.